So we are together here visioning in the year ahead. We are going to be stepping into a beautiful process, a soul-aligned, heart-aligned, body-aligned process, stepping into your next level. We are holding space for this next year, what this next year is calling you into and what you want from this next year, this co-creation between yourself and life. And we are also seed planting for the future. Your seed planting for the future. So I want to spend a minute talking about vision. Vision is one of my areas of expertise. It's one of my gifts. And I also want to talk to you about the process, why it's so powerful, but I also want to talk to you about the challenges of vision as well, just so you understand the nuance here. So you are seed planting for the future, right? This vision is designed to stretch you. This vision is designed to grow you, right? This vision is designed to evolve you, right? And this is a creative space for you to grow into. So for me, vision is space, right? It's a space of potential that you are going to be growing, expanding into, becoming over time. And that's your inner game of who you are becoming within that. Well, it's also co-creation in terms of what do you need to create? What do you need to build to actually manifest your vision into reality? This vision, some things are going to land, they're going to materialize, they're going to ground in this next year, and some things will not. Some things will take longer to grow and to build, but we are seed planting, we are holding the intention, and we are in what I like to call soulful service to your vision, soulful service to your intentions, right? We need to let go of our ego agenda of how it needs to happen and when it needs to happen. So some things might be ready sooner than you are ready, and some things might take longer than you would like. And so your job is to show up, to be wholeheartedly here and deep listening, doing the inner work, taking the aligned action, and we release the rest. You will fail, you will fall, and you will experience pain. Vision is beautiful. It is gorgeous. It's wonderful to feel and to hold that space. It's like where you're going on the map, but the journey to that, into that vision, is not going to be all peaches and cream, right? So one of the things I hear, and I kind of hear time and time again, is where you guys go into self-criticism or self-judgment or feeling like a failure if it's not just this smooth path to success, right? And it just doesn't work that way. So what I want you guys to know and to just hold as part of the game, as part of the process, is failure, right? Is pain, is challenge, is difficulty. That's part of life. And it's part of this journey as well. You can't avoid it, but we can create as smooth a path as possible with this beautiful work, with this beautiful process. So there is nothing wrong with you when you fail. There's nothing wrong with you when you fall. It's all part of the process. Vision helps you to expand and grow beyond your small self, beyond the part of you that's in scarcity, that's in lack, that's in not enough, and your current programming, your current way of thinking, your current way of perceiving, and your current way of interacting with the world. Vision helps you to step beyond that and expand into what I like to call the wealthy version of you, the abundant version of you, the powerful version of you. So we're holding a space for you to grow into. Yes, so your vision is the destination that you're wanting to get to, but the journey really is the most important thing. It's the process and how you navigate that is the most important thing. I know that's really annoying, but it's the truth. Because once you get there, right, to that end result, what I find is sometimes it'll be like, all right, kind of next, right? Because we actually enjoy growing, we enjoy learning, we enjoy evolving, and we are creative beings. I know you're not always enjoying that process, but the truth is that's part of what we're designed for, evolution and growth. So we have to remember that this vision is showing you where you're going or where you want to go, but it's not about getting there, right? It's not about just getting there and getting those results in a particular way at a particular time. It's about the process that this vision takes you on. And the more that you can relax and surrender into that, the easier, right? The easier this journey will be, right? When we get out of all the noise, all the self-judgment and criticism and ego agenda. So please know we are seed planting. We are tending your wealthy garden, right? You are in service to this vision as well as in service to yourself. And we hold the vision, right? And then we have to also do this beautiful, what I like to call a soulful surrender. So, and the final point I want to say is that vision is not everything, right? It's not everything. It's very, very important and very, very powerful. But you're also going to need to work from the ground up, from the foundations up, taking lots of consistent aligned action and leaning into discomfort. So vision is the destination of the map, right? But we can't rely on vision alone to get there. So we're using this as your kind of navigator, knowing where you're going. And there's going to be a whole lot of things that you meet as you journey towards or into that vision. So it's a beautiful, beautiful, powerful process. And it's not everything. So that's really, really important to remember. It's a very, very powerful piece, but there's lots of other pieces that will be required to achieve those results. Okay, so that's just the beginning. That is the start, kind of welcoming this beautiful vision. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's powerful, and it can be uncomfortable. And this space is here to hold you and support you, creating a safe space through this journey and through this transformation. There's going to be one part of you that it's like raring to go, excited, like all in, all yes. And there'll be another part that will be absolutely contracting against the very thing that you want. Or you want to hide, run away, right? So we've got these two aspects. One that's like, let's go, powerful creator self. And then the other part that's like, let's absolutely not go. Let's do the opposite. Go under the duvet, watch that TV, hide, and let's forget it, right? So these are two parts that they're always going to be playing together, and we need to learn how to work together, right? With the part of you that wants to change and the part of you that wants to stay safe and stay in what you know. So please know that these two are always going to be sort of in combat in a sense, but we can find a way to bridge and work together really harmoniously. And so right now what we're doing is really opening up the space for the vision, right? For that wealth frequency, for the abundant version of you, for that potential of the seed of consciousness that you are, right? And stepping into that. So that small self, we're going to say, we love you. And we're just going to ask you to have a little rest. You can go lie under the duvet while we go and do this beautiful, beautiful work together. Welcome. Welcome to this next year. I would like you to take a minute to step into how you are feeling about stepping into this next year. Now you can take a moment just to meditate on these questions, or you can journal on these questions. You can just sit and think about these questions. I would like you to just take a moment to witness your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, the physical sensations in your body about you meeting this next year. Just going to take a moment to check in with yourself. How are you feeling? Where are you at? So I'd like you to take a minute maybe to journal, to meditate, just to reflect on. We're just checking in. Where are you? How are you? I'm going to give you a minute with that question. And just please receive yourself exactly as you are and where you are. No judgment, just witnessing. Beautiful. So you want a little bit longer with this, just checking in. How are you? Where are you? What's going on? Becoming aware of some of those thoughts, those feelings, those body sensations will help you to step into this next step. We just want to acknowledge so we can start to clear the decks. The next step, we want you to commit fully to landing into this year now. 100% commitment. Make the decision to be all in. So, full commitment to yourself, to this year ahead, to your vision, and witnessing, right? Witnessing where you might not be all in, where you might be not in full commitment. This is a practice to keep coming back into full commitment, right? All in, and witnessing where you maybe pull out, hide, all your fun patterns of avoidance, perhaps. So next decision, let's just make together a full wholehearted commitment. You're all in. You're ready to rock. Fully showing up to life and all it brings. So your next step is to land, ground, connect to yourself now, to drop in fully into this present moment, right? So we're 100% in and we decide to fully land, fully show up, fully be here, to be fully present right here, right now. That is our next step, because this helps you to anchor. This helps you to sit down, grow your roots. And this is probably a daily practice of a reminder, right? Land, ground, anchor. Be fully present here with your 100% commitment. So I'd like you just to take a minute to breathe down into that, right? Breathe that right down into your pelvic floor. That base chakra, the pelvic floor, will help with grounding. Being fully present, fully embodied, fully here. And that is a work in progress, right? To be fully here, fully embodied, fully anchored, fully grounded, fully rooted. And we step into that by really relaxing in. Oh, beautiful. Just needs to take a moment, calling yourself here, calling yourself here. Gorgeous. And the next step is soulful surrender. Get out of the way. Let go of control. Expand beyond your current reality. So, soulful surrender. Getting out of the way, letting go of control, and allowing yourself to expand beyond your current reality. Bless your minds, right? The part that doesn't want to do that. But this is a really big piece to stepping in and expanding into your next level. And again, that's that step one, relax, and money manifestation mastery helps you to drop in, right? And let go. And let this deeper process work with you, work through you, work for you. So we're allowing the intelligence of your heart, your soul, your body wisdom to work its magic. And this happens when you surrender, when you relax, when you get out of the way. So this is allowing that divinity, or that intelligence, that consciousness, creative energy to work with you, through you, for you. We have to get out of the way to allow that to happen, right? So, and from this place, we are now ready to connect to your vision. So we want to really land, ground, release, let go, get out of the way, so you can drop in and allow this vision to step in, right? To create space to receive it. Beautiful. So just take a few deep breaths again, right down to your pelvic floor, right down into your belly. And remember that quality of play, right? Releasing any pressure. And let's explore. Let's play. Our next step is to connect to your big vision money goal. Your big vision money goal. So this may take longer than just 1 year to create and build, but this is your really beautiful big vision money goal that you want to be creating, building, experiencing. And this could take 5 years, it could take 10 years. This isn't necessarily about you achieving this result in the next year, but we want to tap into this wealth frequency to create space around what you're building and what you're creating. So this is big vision. Now, what I'm aware of is not everyone creates best from big vision, but some of you do. I know I do. For me, this is about holding the space. It's like holding the big womb for you to grow into this big money vision, big money goal, and what you're growing into longer term. So I'd like you to connect, call it your wow goal, your big money vision, the amount of money that you would absolutely love to be experiencing, to be building, to be creating, for the joy of it, for the power of it, for the growth of it, for the impact of it, for all the reasons why, and write that amount down. Write that amount down. And you get to choose. You get to choose what you would love to experience, what you love to create. And remember, you can always grow. You can always change it. But what would feel amazing for you to be creating, experiencing? Point down. Now, my big vision comes very much from what I'd call the soul or the heart. It doesn't come from my ego, right? So this is about more around purpose. It may come from something you want as the I, as the human you, but for me, it comes from someplace deeper that's not necessarily what I, Lara, would choose. It's like, okay, this is guided. It's soul destined. This is something much deeper and richer calling me forward. That's how it comes through for me. But again, we're all unique, and it's about tapping into you. So we can, when we get out of the way, we go into soulful surrender, and we allow something deeper, bigger, and richer and greater to come through you. To me, this is really beyond the I. It's really about something bigger around contribution and impact. And of course, you're included in that as well. And bigger is not better. So it's just what feels right, aligned for you in this life at this time. So I'd like you to write that amount down. I'm just going to give you a minute to welcome in your big vision money goal. And just watch that mind. Let's see what lands in. So what we're going to do now is welcome in the intelligence, the consciousness of this amount of money, to allow it to work through you, for you. This is your wealth frequency. And this expands you and creates space for your next step money goal to come in. So what I found, can hold that bigger space, right? It allows that next step to be able to just slot in, right? If you get comfortable and expand into those larger amounts of money, then that next step money goal feels quite like, oh yeah, of course I can let that, right? So we're sort of expanding, I call this expanding your capacity to receive. Expanding your capacity to receive. Now, some of you, this process may not work as well for, if you're a bit more like need things on the ground, level up. But it's a fun practice to play with. Just have a little play and see how it works for you. My words to share how I work with this amount of money. And I'd like to do just briefly is share an example of how I'm playing with this in my own life in case that helps you. So the very first time that I started working with money and money manifestation, immediately my guidance told me that I was bringing in like, multi-millions, right? So it was sort of 10 million a year up. And I was completely overwhelmed by that at first because I had no personal desire or interest in that whatsoever. But I was very guided into it, right? And then I kind of ran away from it for quite a long time. And then actually my guidance was like, okay, next step after that was to start to build consistent, 6-figure years, and which was a different game. And so I was like, okay, of course you hold the big vision, then you have to build from the ground up, right? But what I do now as part of my money manifestation practice is I'm holding that. So I'm very strongly guided, and I kind of fight it sometimes, but keep coming back to it. Like, this is like, basically it's like $1 million a month in business, or like 10 million plus a year in business, right? Business revenue. And also not just business. I allow it to kind of come through however it comes through. And that is the wealth frequency that I work with predominantly, because it's really growing, that grows me into future me, right? So I'm not anywhere near that right now, but it's like, that's what I'm growing into. And then what's super interesting, what happens is it really expands. My husband's business starts growing and expanding, and it's the whole thing. Like, this living abundance energy is really about who we're becoming absolutely kind of transforms and impacts life all around us as well. So, but that is long game. That is a longer term game. I'm not putting a timeline on that, but it's like, that's definitely, maybe it's like, I don't know, 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line, who knows? But that's the wealth frequency that I play in. That is what I do most of my work around. And then everything else is that next step, kind of, it's like as the slipstream comes in from that place. This is how I create. This is how I'm guided to create. It's quite uncomfortable though, because that is a future version, right? That is a future version. And that may take time to build. And my brain's like, I don't know how to do that. And this is what I've done every step of the way. I didn't know how to hit like consistent 6 figures either at the time. And it's like, you just have to start, and it starts to grow you. So again, it's playtime. But what I love to do is play with this amount of money, its wealth frequency, its wealth consciousness, as a guide. It's like future you coming to guide present you. And we don't need to know the how, we don't need to know the nuts and bolts of it, but this is about understanding who you're becoming. And it's not really about money at the end of the day. Money is a part of it. It's included in it, but it's not everything. To me, it's really about who you are becoming in the process. So we want to welcome in, right? So this big money goal, to me, has its own consciousness. It has its own energy. It has its own intelligence. It has its own plan, right? That's far greater than my mind now, right? My way of thinking now, my expanding and rewiring to receive, expanding your capacity to receive, is about getting yourself ready and prepared for that before, right? It's ready to land in ground. So when it lands in, you're like, oh yeah, I've been ready and waiting for you for some time now. And it can just start to kind of land in and just becomes kind of your new normal. So you want to create this as your new normal before it even physically materializes. This is what I do with manifesting everything, absolutely everything. And it's quite uncomfortable because there's a time lag, right? It's like, and then we have to start to hold the bridge. And it's a bit hard for our small thinking parts of our mind, but this is how I roll. And if you want to play, please join me, because it's pretty powerful and I think lots of fun too. So we want to welcome in the wealth frequency, the energy of that amount of money. Allow it to work with you, through you, for you. You need to get out of the way, soulfully surrender, and allow it to be here, and allow it to start to circulate through you and through your body. And so we invite every single cell in your body to become the vibrational frequency of that amount of money now. So you start to become it, you start to embody it, you start to hold space for it, start to relax into it, which needs soulful surrender, because we're like, I don't know how, right? I don't know how. So we let go of the how, right? And start to be in soulful service to this wealth frequency. Okay, so let's let that breathe with you for a minute. Let's just feel into that wealth frequency, who you are, how you are, what it feels like when that money is here. And this is how we start building these money muscles now. So what I like to do is what I call collapse all timelines, right? Collapse all timelines, meaning releasing your ego agenda of how long something should or shouldn't take. and just show up in service to it. So some things are able to manifest, materialize much faster than your ego might be ready. So that's a big part of the work that I do. It's like, okay, would I just allow this to land in right here, right now? And that can be quite overwhelming. So we need to also understand where you're not able to receive that, but equally, right, be willing to hold it if it takes a long time. Because our ego agenda might be, I need it now, I need it fast, I need it yesterday. Why isn't this here, right? And actually there's some things that just take time to build and grow, like as we see in nature. And I've learned this through business, and I've learned this through marketing, and I learned that it's like some things take a lot longer. I'm very impatient, right? It's really interesting. So we want to release the timeline, release our ego agenda when we think things should happen and how they should happen, and go into deep listening, deep service to that creation. Welcome that beautiful wealth frequency that's growing you into your future. And I'd like you to tune in now to a question. So what is your theme for the year ahead? And what is your word for this year? I like to tap in again from the level of the soul, level of body wisdom. It can just be from you, from what you decide. But I like to tune in and be like, hey, you're ahead. What have you gotten? And what is coming this year, right? What do we need to get ready for? What is the theme for this year? And then what is the word that you want to use to capture that theme? My word last year was not very sexy. Last year it was like, it's time to build. It's like systems. It was all about systems, which is like absolutely not my strength. And I was like, oh God, this is not going to be fun. So it was like systems, right? And to show up to something beautiful that you're doing. So joy, I like to, for example, if I'm having like resistance to something like systems, it's like, how do I infuse joy into those systems, right? So I call it divinity or love or joy, where you can choose to make a choice to bring in something beautiful into things that are hard too. What is your theme for this year? And what is the word that you want to choose for this year? Really gorgeous. So it's really nice to tap into your theme, take up more space. I love that. Beautiful, exactly. So that will be your soul-aligned journey for this next year. There will be certain things that life is calling you into, or that you're calling yourself into. And it's really nice to tap into that and to tune into that. Beautiful. So please write that down. You're going to be reminding yourself. So what we've been doing so far is creating a bit more an expanded space for an expanded space, stepping into that big money goal, right? Holding that energetic frequency, allowing it to move with you, through you, for you. We're tapping into the theme for the year ahead. We're finding the word for the year ahead. We're releasing our own personal agenda, tapping into soulful surrender, really letting go, dropping in, full wholehearted commitment. And now we're going to funnel down a little bit more. We're going to ground down a little bit more. I want you to tune in and listen, and you get to play with this next question. So what is your money goal, money vision for this next year, ahead? What would you like to make happen this year? Please remember that your money goal and money vision is designed to grow you and stretch you. It's not necessarily about nailing it completely. Of course you can, and that's great. But it's designed to grow you and stretch you. And this is starting to ground down, right? So we've been doing big vision, and now we're funneling it down. So tune in. What would you like to make happen, see happen for this year? And again, I like to tune in and listen. What am I being guided into? But also grounded, reality, practical. What do you need can be included as well. Beautiful. So write that amount down. Again, we're in service, this amount of money. Okay. All right. So we're welcoming this amount of money in now. We're welcoming it here. So we are visioning in, right? We've gotten our big money goal. We've gotten our next step money goal for the next year ahead. And now we're going to step into you. Who are you becoming, right? The wealthy version of you. We want to tap in. For me, this is one of the most powerful pieces. And the real inner game of this money work is what this money is growing you into. Who are you becoming, right? This is the inner game of money manifestation mastery. So I want you to now tap into that wealthy version of you. It can be your big wow goal, big vision version of you, or it can be this next year version of you. You can decide, right? Who are you becoming, or who do you need to become to welcome that in? Right? Who are you when that money is here? And so this is really, again, for me, it's getting out of the way, getting to know this rich bitch, right? Getting to know this version of you, getting to know who are you when this money is here and who do you need to become, right? So we're starting to connect to this future wealthy you and bring it into the present. This is like a huge piece. This is a huge important piece. Who are you becoming? So I'd like you to spend a minute tuning into that. The version of you that has this money already, get to know them. So I'm going to give you a minute to journal on this question, to meditate on this question, to feel into this question. Who are you when the money is here? I'd love to get to know this part of you. We want to create a safe space here too for you to grow in and become this part of you too. That's part of what we're doing. So I'll give you a couple minutes to tune in to this question now. Who are you becoming? You can decide if it's this version of you you're stepping into this next year or the big vision money goal. I always work with the big vision because that's what helps me. I find if I get too contracted, I can't create very well. But some people need it the opposite. They need like the ground up. So it's a little bit of a play about what works best for you. But either is fine. Either will stretch you a little bit. And sometimes that big vision is like too far away from where you are now. So it's easier to access if you ground it down. But it's kind of a play to figure out, what feels best for you to play in today. You can play with both. Who am I at this next step money goal? And who am I becoming then the big vision money goal, right? These are like stages of growth and learning and unlearning. So welcome, wealthy version of you, into this session, or you can call it future version of you. Get to know them. I'll give you a minute with that. All right, so we're going to expand it a little bit to this next step. So that's who are you becoming? Who are you? And getting to know this part of you. Right, this is part of this inner game, is welcoming this part of you into your life. Now, the next question I have is around your body or health. So how is your body and health when money is here? So I talk about body, business, bank account, right? We want to include your beautiful vehicle. Your health is your wealth. It's very important. And so we want to think about money and health, right? Health and wealth. So for me, this is around integrated wealth, where you're not kind of burning yourself out, making yourself sick for your results. We're learning to take care of yourself as you grow your wealth. Obviously, it's not about being perfect, but we want to include all of these aspects of yourself in the game. You're not cutting off your limbs, right, to get your results. So with the wealthy version of you, right, true wealth and abundance, when you are in wealth, right, what I call wealth, or you could call it abundance, how's your body? How's your health? Let's feel into that, right? Let's feel into, let your body tell you, your body show you. Again, free of any judgment, preconceived ideas and notions, like who am I and how am I with my physical body and health when money is here? What does your body look like, feel like when the wealth is here? So you can tap into this part of you. So welcoming this health body, including that beautiful body. Remember to include our body in this process, right? These are all these pillars. These are all pillars to living abundance. Money is one, body is another, how you be is another. Beautiful. A little bit of fun. So obviously, we've been talking money, we're talking body. One of the pillars for me is around fun, joy. What else are you experiencing beyond work, right? Beyond your purpose work? And this question is around prioritizing joy and fun and stuff that isn't to do with money necessarily or business, right? What are you doing? What's really important to you? And for me, what I found with this pillar is about living your life and about your life nourishing you beyond work as well. What's important to you, and to also help you prioritize some of those things that are important to you and fit them in as best as you can, depending on what's going on, of course, and where you are. One of the pillars for me is around your adventure, fun, play. It could be travel, it could be things that are really important to you. For me, it's really simple. It's like, for me, I love dinner parties, and it's just making sure I'm prioritizing dates to have friends around for dinner and to go dancing. And we do that. It's pretty established now, but it's just remembering that's really important. So just prioritizing it on a time level, thinking ahead of time and booking dates in the diary. For me, some of these things are really, really simple. Or it's like prioritizing that massage or maybe some holiday time, thinking ahead, right? How do we fit that in? Especially when you're mapping out your year, it's really important to remember the thing joy that I think are powerful fuels for your purpose, the things that are going to fulfill you beyond work, beyond money, that are important. So what are you calling in terms of fun, play, adventure? It can be very simple. Beautiful. So what fun do you want to be having? That's important to you. Beautiful, right? So we're writing down all these things that are important to you. Again, they may not all be available to you right now, but we're remembering what's important and doing our best to fit that into all the other things that are going on. Gorgeous. And for me, this is all the joy of living, why we're doing all this stuff and making sure to include stuff that brings you joy and nourishes you and uplifts you and fuels you. Really, really important. So this next one's a bigger question, but this one is around business or work, if you're not in a business. So how are you working? Who are you serving when the money is here? So you want to tap into the consciousness of your business, in my energetic language, and welcoming in the consciousness of your business, the consciousness of money that flows through your business. Money flows through not just your business, of course, but really tapping into and then welcoming that wealthy version of you. And I want you to just see if you can hold space to allow this to be here, just to see what comes through as much as possible without the mind getting kind of contracted. This may be a bit of a work in progress. It may or may not be available to you right here, right now. I'm going to give you 5 minutes now just to welcome in the consciousness of your business. Welcome in the consciousness of the amount of money you're calling in. Welcome in the wealthy version of you and see what is here. And this is about allowing your business also to grow you. And this is how I roll. It's like I'm in service to the business, right? I'm in service to it. It's in service to me. It's a co-creation. And releasing any judgment, preconceived ideas, and just listening and staying curious, seeing what comes through. Again, it doesn't all have to happen right away, but holding space for what's coming. It may be a little bit uncomfortable. So I need to keep getting out of the way, so fully surrendering. Some areas you may have got quite quickly, kind of were quite quick fine-tuning, and some areas are going to need a bit more time, more refinement, more attention, more care, more space. And so please give yourself the time and space you need. There's no rush. This is an ongoing process, but I would love you to get clear about what you are stepping into for this year and beyond, the seed planting, right? So you can focus on what you're building, focus on your fortune. As we move forward, we're releasing and letting go of the past. We're releasing and letting go of old ways of being that are no longer serving, honoring them and letting them go, or the integration process, and moving forward, right? Moving forward, creating your life on purpose. So beautiful, beautiful. Well done. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Such a beautiful honor, pleasure, privilege to dive in deeper with you. We'll keep working on it. We'll keep working with it. It's so powerful, you guys. It's not like it's so funny, you know, this vision work can seem very pie in the sky and fluffy stuff, but it really is powerful. And from my life, I just want to say that, you know, some things have taken me years, right? They really have. And the really important things I was talking to my husband about this morning, it's like all the things that I have manifested now that are amazing, that were a dream like 5 years ago or 10 years ago, they've taken time, right? Some things definitely can pop in fast. And so I always want to be holding space for that when I talk about collapsing the timelines, but I also, for the ego, right? Whatever your ego is doing, I really also want us to remember, I keep saying it, but I'm going to keep saying it, just the long game, right? Slow, steady, sustainable, right? Slow and steady wins the race as well. Fast is cool. Faster is not better. More is not better. But if we're just keep showing up, chipping away consistently, chipping away. And it's not that it's all going to be good. It's not all going to be successful. It's not going to be all going to be wins all the time. There's a lot of loss and there's a lot of failure and there's a lot of pain and a lot of obstacles, as you know, because you're dealing with it all the time. The difference is we just want to stop creating a story around that being wrong, or like somehow you're a failure, or somehow, you know, someone else is getting it right and you're just getting it wrong. Everyone, like, honestly, I mean, the honor and privilege of coaching so many people and so many successful people is that everyone is freaking struggling. Everyone is struggling all of the time. and everyone's just pretending not to be struggling. So it's like, if we just realize, and we have good days, right? And that's when we show up on social media, woo, right? So it's just to remember that you're not a fuck up, you're not a failure, you're extraordinary and amazing, and life is intense and challenging and hard, and you're also pushing up against the grain. So it makes it even more hard. If we can just bring in that self-compassion and patience and love and care, and it's not about getting there, right? We're in it, we're doing it, you're amazing. And yes, we want things to change, and yes, we want things to improve, for sure. And that's why we keep going, right? So what I want you to do is, it's not about taking the foot off the gas, but it's not about like beating yourself up, right? It's like, it's just how you're treating yourself as you navigate. It's really, really, really important. And you still show up powerfully, still connect powerfully, still do the work, still take the action, but trying to be as kind and compassionate to yourself as possible as you keep going. So that's my message. That's my message for you in this next year. And yeah, just reminding, yes, we're all struggling with being a human being, but also you're an extraordinary human being doing extraordinary things, and it doesn't make you less of anything. So what I want you to do is just keep remembering to not abandon your vision, right? To keep nurturing it. And that's the idea of what we're doing, like week after week, we just keep showing up to it, witnessing where you contract, witnessing where you sabotage, witnessing where you forget, and then just coming back into focus. All right, amazing, gorgeous. Here we go. Next level. So much love. And we will be with you again next week.